Okay, so we're going to look at the last bit of section 2.1. And so the next thing is actually another version of a bar graph. And this is when we want to compare two things that have the same type of categories. What we're going to do is create what's called a side-by-side bar graph. And so we basically have two things. Now, sometimes you will still use frequency as your vertical scale. Sometimes you may use relative frequency. That'll be kind of indicated and given as we go through. So if we take a look at number 7 on our worksheet here, okay? So it says we've got 1940 is our dark bar graph and 2012 is our light one. Ask the source of funds for each expenditure. They ask whether or not they increase or decrease. So the first one we have is families and individuals. And so looking from 1940 to 2012, we see that the darker bar is higher. So that means that we had a decrease in this one. Looking at the businesses one, we see again that the dark bar is higher. So we had a decrease in that one. Next one is governments. And this one we actually see that the lighter bar is higher. So we had an increase since that is the 2012 one. And then we have produced at home. And again, we see that the white bar is, or the lighter bar is higher. So that means that was an increase for that one. So the last type of chart that we're going to talk about here is what is called a pie chart. And for our pie chart, the entire circle is 100%. So usually we use like relative frequencies for this stuff. And so if you have a relative frequency of 0.25 or a quarter, then you're going to have a quarter of the circle is going to be taken up with that category. So the one that they have here in our lovely PowerPoint is the one for the credit card types. So when we talked about this, we had that MasterCard was 11 out of 50, which was 0.22 for its relative frequency. So if we look over here, that's kind of that maroon colored piece. And it's shy of a quarter because a quarter would be 0.25. We've got Visa is 0.46. So that's going to be a little less than half. So again, they kind of created a half and then cut it down. American Express was 0.18 and Discover was 0.14. So out of that remaining section, kind of would have cut it in half and then moved over that line just a little bit so that American Express would have been slightly bigger than our Discover section. So now looking at the last few examples that we have for our stuff, we're going to take a look at number 3 over here on our chart. So this was just reading one of our lovely little pie charts. And so they ask us which one of the was the least number of games sold in. And so we're looking for the smallest wedge. The smallest wedge is the mature wedge. So we have that mature was the least one. Now, looking at number 4, this was a Pareto chart based on the data out of number 3. They asked us to do a Pareto chart. Reminder, Pareto chart is a bar graph where you start with the highest bar. So over there on the side of that pie chart, back up there on number 3, we have that the highest category is everyone. So this is going to be 0.10, 0.20, 0.30, make that line a little more centered, and 0.40. So I'm at 38.2 or 0.382. So it's going to be my E for everyone category. And then we have the next highest category is everyone 10 and up, and we're at 28. So that's going to be, here's my 30 mark. So to just shy of that. 10 category. Then our next one is 22.5. So that's going to be here. And that was our teen category. So that would be teen. And then we're at 10.6. So it'll be about here. And that is our M for mature. So that would be our Pareto chart for the data. Okay. So now then, taking a look at number 5, it says true or false, excuse me, more than twice as many E10 games were rated. Okay. Now, if we look, this was 0.38, this was 0.29, 0.23, and 0.11. So it said more than 12, twice the team going to be 46%, and that is not what we have. So that would be false for that one. Okay. It says fewer than 1 in 5 games is rated M. Thinking about 1 out of 5, that is 20% or 0.20. 0.11 is less than 0.20. So for number 6, that would be true. Okay. And then finally, we're going to look over here at number 10. This is the last one out of this section that we have not handled in either this video or one of our previous videos. So we have, first they give us a table. So I'm going to scooch this so that I can create the table. So we have congestive heart failure, coronary arteriosclerosis, heart attack, pneumonia, and infant birth. Okay. And so we have 875, 1370, 580, 1020, 3800. We're going to first need to create a big total for this set. So we're going to add all those up. And we get 7645. So that was our frequency. So now relative frequency. We get this 0.11. This is 0.18. This is 0.08. This is 0.13. And this is 0.50. So that's going to be our categories. Okay. So now, if I'm going to go make a pie chart for this, okay, I'm going to start because that's the easiest one. That's half. So then I would have this labeled infant birth. Okay. So now looking at the next one, I'm going to kind of see if I can't rough in a few lines here. Okay, those are about 10% each. Okay, so for congestive heart failure, I'm going to outside of this because that one's at 11%. Okay, I'm going to do just inside of this because this was, I took a degree here, so that would put this at about 9. I'm going to take one in here, so that would be about 8. So I'm going to handle this one. So this was heart attack. And then I've got the 18 and the 13. So 18 is going to be just shy of the 2 of them mark. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of this green line. So this is going to be my 18. So this is that coronary, and then this is pneumonia. Now, within the homework setup, you will be able to put like percentages into a table, and it will create this type of pie graph for you.